What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor. And yes, we are going to be looking at some extremely strange options activity, investigating and trying to figure out what the Hello Kitty is going on here. Because Elon Musk, again, is coming out with the new price model. I don't think that's what made the stock or the overall market kind of really move on those tweets, which was, again, very strange. Again, I kind of love this TechCrunch article of Elon Musk tweets the Model S will be priced at 69,420 because he's a child. that's that's funny. That's pretty funny. That's great with that. Oh, what I click on that. So with that, I thought that was quite entertaining to say the least. And then of course with this is the new again Lucid or whatever the other car's entry level sedan will cost at 77,000, but with the tax credit within the U.S. government, you get $7,500 tax credit write off for that year. So that kind of puts it around that 69,900 range, and of course he wants to undercut that, whatever. Anyways, you guys came here for this crazy options activity and looking at this very strange again. We're talking about like $77 million worth of options being traded in a very short period of time. So let's just go ahead and swing over to Thinkorswim here. You can see the options activity here. So I have it, this is the previous day, and it had a lot of options activity between the put side and the call side. The put side was substantial, but this is what really caught my eye was it was 2,000 contracts for the 15th of January of 2021 for the 72 call. It literally went through once, twice, three, four times, five times, okay, on these large amounts of orders. I don't know if this was something that was like someone fat fingered something and they hit the enter button multiple times. So if we swing over to that contract, so this is the $72 call. Again, that's going to be extremely deep in the money. So we have to expand and show all the contracts for this expiration. So 72, we're seeing the open interest of 21,000 contracts at that level. Again, it's not very clear, and I'm trying to honestly wrap my head around on the sense of why someone would buy 2,000 lots of those trades. And then kind of comparing it to what we saw with the put side. Again, we're never going to know on the intentions behind the trade or the traders or the hedge funds thought process behind it, because it could be anything can happen, because a lot of people bought the October 16th 420 put. So that was again, it's just kind of like, and we're living like a crazy world here. So just with this trade itself, again, it's a 42 delta, was about and $38,000, but that doesn't touch anywhere near this call option here. So we go here, create duplicate, and we hit confirm and send. Yes, $77 million for this particular options contract. What does it say for break even? The stock just needs to stay above $478 into expiration. So this expiration is about 90-ish days away. Of course, Tesla has been a very much of a high flyer, but once we switch over to the chart, you'll kind of see it's kind of been in a very tight channel and kind of just bouncing around between those ping pong moments. Again, this is a very strange order here, because again, we're looking at a substantial amount of orders going out in that bracket. So it's going to be something strange that I honestly haven't seen before, and something so large where I just can't really wrap my head around. So if it's one of you guys in the description or the comments down below, or one of the viewers who are putting this trade on, please reach out to me, and I would love to get more information on what the heck Hello Kitty are doing here, because this is a really interesting trade without a doubt to kind of see on how this plays out. So that's a chest bump there. So let's go ahead and just flip over to the chart then. Okay, so basically in 90 days, if the trade is what we're looking at, the stock needs to stay above the 458. So it just has to stay above where it's currently at as of today. With huge earnings coming around the corner, again, earnings is coming out on the 21st, so about 7 days away from that. It's going to be pretty close, going to be pretty large earnings without a doubt. Earnings, there's always a fun time for Tesla due to the fact of, again, you have very strong biases on the sense of short sellers, long, basically cult following long people, just complete fanboys and girls who own the cars and just own the stock, which is nothing. Again, full disclosure, I'm long the stock as well, and I of course want Tesla to continue going higher, but I understand there could be snags in the road, there could be some downtimes and all these kind of things. But again, that's what more of a longer term investing horizon that I look at is forth. Let me make sure these Fibonacci's there we go. So what we're talking about, that channel we talked about before this, been kind of trading in this range. It's been having a lot of overhead resistance around the $465.55 area. It has not been able to really get bust above that. And as this morning, as recording of this video, the market's down a little bit, about 1% on S&P 500. This, of course, would potentially take Tesla down just a slightly hair here. But for this trend to really continue, we are seeing lower highs, so that's a good marker. Tesla, for this trend to continue, we can come all the way down to back around 378 to 380 to have this trend really continue. I know it seems insane. I know a lot of people would lose their shirts, their pants, their socks, their glasses, maybe a piercing of some kind if that really kind of came down to that in a very short period of time. Because again, especially going into earnings, you never know what could happen. Tesla could have fantastic numbers, but Elon or the management team could say something that could really just flip the table and just create a kind of a scary situation for some of the investors or traders that are a little bit of short-term mindset. That being said, be super mindful what could happen. So what we're going to be doing alongside of this large trade that we're just talking about here, which is just absolutely still blowing my mind, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. We're going to be looking here just at the options expiration for not this week, it's the following week, which is going to be where it falls in for its quarterly. Let me just type in. Normally just type in 50 here, I think. There we go. So with its quarterly earnings. So what we're looking at here, you see the implied volatility is very high due to, again, earnings. Earnings adds a lot of volatility in the market because, again, it can fluctuate up and down, left and right. So they're saying basically a move of $58 plus or minus. $58, that's pretty substantial, right? Let's go ahead and switch over back to the chart. So $58, where we're currently at. So currently we closed about 461. So we can come potentially all the way down to around 402. Guess what that lines up? That kind of lines up exactly with the 50-day simple moving averages. That's that little red line there. Let's kind of get these Fibonacci iterations out of the way to kind of make things a little bit more clear for everyone in the YouTube world. Seeing that kind of come down to that potential level there. Then on the flip side, where could the high be going all the way up? It's basically would come into basically its previous high around the 502 to the 503 arena there. So this is basically the potential movement that we can see. Again, this is what the market makers are saying. This is not something that I'm predicting or anything like that. This is what the market makers are creating on looking at this potential move here. So we're going to be drawing this little guy like right about here. So this is basically the range it could hit on the outside. Of course, that can expand because, as you know, Tesla has pretty large moves. You can see on its last earnings, it didn't do too well, and it just kind of came right back down. But then previous earnings, it has had monstrous returns. We're gonna go way back to go in the time machine with me, and we went into basically this time last year where Tesla had its very first like extremely profitable quarter in October, and this is where the stock really got its legs, and that we're currently seeing again. If you remember, this is October of 2019, where Tesla had a substantial deviation of a move on earnings. And then that's what really started the whole Tesla bull run that we have seen. Then, of course, you had the pandemic hit, and then Tesla just really got back on the saddle and continued to ride the bull into these absolutely amazing returns in the stock here. With that being said, what can happen with earnings? Full disclosure, No one knows, okay? I think everyone hopefully understands that no one can tell or predict the future. So be super mindful about those scenarios that comes into play with that. So with this being said, we're looking at this basically oval move with these little bars of being the overall bell curve of 68% of the potential move. If we want to go further out, we can kind of dive into that on Tastyworks. So this is what I use for trading options, and this is something. Oh, my password just got disconnected. It says I love my mommy password. There we go. So this one, and then we're gonna flip over to this one. So we can slide this here. So with Tastyworks, again, I'm an affiliate link down below if you're interested on joining or creating a portfolio there. So the first deviation move is basically around 390. If the deviation moves to the downside, it's 390. It can, again, then the next level of support of the next deviation move, which is this blue line here, is basically around 317.50. To the upside, we're going to be looking for 530, it looks like, and then basically a little bit around 610. So there's going to be those deviation moves from that perspective there. So we can go over here, slide that back over there. So to the upside, we're going to be looking for around the first deviation move, which would be around 530. So let's see if my chart on this sucker is a little bit accurate. And it's not on this one. Hang on. Let's go here. Let's just draw them in myself then. So we're going to be drawing in the deviation move of to the upside. So 530 is going to be something that we're going to be looking at here. So we're going to create and we're going to draw a line or a price target here. We can adjust the number. There we go. It's close enough. And we're going to make it a different nice color. We're going to make it a nice, let's make it a bluish. I like blue. Let's do a nice teal blue to the upside. And we're going to call this this D1. So deviation of 1. And it's going to be called 530. And then we have to show name to the left. Boom. That's going to be the next deviation to the upside. So we can also create a duplicate line, and we're going to draw this one up to the deviation 2, which is around 630. So we're going to go all the way up here. There we go, close enough. But we just need to change this to D2, and we're going to make this at 630. So this basically what we're doing here. It might be a little bit complicated for some folks. So this is basically if the stock does move, the expected move is basically in between these yellow bars. But if it does move to a substantial further upside, would be the first deviation move would be around 530. And if it breaks above that and really hits that 630, that's going to be potentially capturing 96, 95% of the move. That's basically what the options market is saying within Tastyworks. And then we're going to go to the flip side and we're going to go to the downside. So where could this be to the downside? So we're going to duplicate this one as well. And the first line is going to be around 390-ish. So all the way right about, scroll, 391. So it's right about there is the first deviation move to the downside. We edit this. We're going to do that. We're going to do D1. And then we do around 391. Okay. And then we can duplicate this one again. And we're going to do then this deviation of 2, which is going to be all the way to around 317. And guess where 317 kind of comes in? Is all the way right about, oh, come on there. There we go. Look at that. I nailed that one right on the head. Give me a like on the bottom of the screen for that one, folks. And that's going to be around 317. So imagine this just being a large funnel. So we're going to be creating this large move of this where this could potentially kind of come out of. So this is going to be that potential move that we could see within Tesla. Of course, these arrows would come out and expand, looking at the potential move that we could see within Tesla in the coming weeks, more or less. Why can't I get this all lined up here? There we go. Potentially looking at, again, I know the drawings will look completely crazy, but this is what options look like. This is the ever on expansion of what potentially could happen. Again, market makers are particularly looking at the yellow bars, and then the blue bars is going to be the one deviation. So it really could potentially just stay in within the blue bars. But if it has a substantial large move to the upside or to the downside, we're going to be looking at these levels here. These are not the most probabilistic, so we can kind of go back to the Tastyworks side. So we can look at just if we would buy this put option, we could see the probability. So they're saying the probability of profit is 1%. So 1% for hitting at 315 next week is at 1% as of right now. And then to say the upside of hitting 600-ish is again at 3%. Hitting 320, oh, let me close that. 320 is 2%. 2% chance, okay? So what is the chances of hitting it at 520? So we can close this one out. So looking at 520, we're gonna be looking for about 13% chance. And then we're gonna be looking here all the way here to that 392, and that's about a 19% chance. So you can kind of see the closer you get to in the money or at the money, the probabilities kind of go up and down with the probability of profit. But I can talk about options and stocks forever, but I need to kind of wrap this video up here, especially some key takeaways with Tesla. So we're basically going to be looking for a substantial move if it moves on Tesla, but with it staying as what the market makers are saying as of the 15th of October is going to be between the 503 and 504 range to around that 396. That doesn't mean it has to hit those levels. It can just stay flat. That's just what's saying the IV, which is the implied volatility on top of what the market makers plus or minus moves are. So hopefully this was educational. You had fun. Please definitely check out my Patreon page if you want to support the channel and learn some stuff, and as well the YouTube channel membership down below. And if you want to be interested in trading options like a pro like I am, check out Tastyworks, an affiliate link down below. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!